Fellow skaters, have you always wanted control on one foot? Have you always wanted to turn while you were just balanced on one skate? It's easier than you think. I'm going to take you out skating to show you this soon, but first I'll break it down here very quickly just to help you get your head around it. So when you think about turning on one foot, it's very easy to think about pointing that foot. And if you're just pointing that foot and thinking about what that foot is doing, you might wind up a little too twitchy and explosive. So we're just turning the foot. When you're unanchored, it's very hard just to turn that foot isolated off to one side. There's not much control. You're using very small muscles here, gemellus, obturator, piriformis, and other deep rotator gluteal muscles. So I would like to think of the hip as a translational joint, not so much as something that produces power for this. And by that I mean we're going to be using our upper body to generate some torque here and translate it through the hips, boom. And then I'll get a nice turn into the foot. So by upper body, I didn't mean throwing the shoulders into the carve. Your shoulders should be quite still, like the mass on which your lower body is anchored. My core and hips turn together, then my knees and skate follow milliseconds later. I'm committing my hips fully to the intended direction with full trust. They are not dishonest, those hips. All hip muscles I mentioned earlier will still be working, but the power will be exaggerated by the support of the rotating pelvis and from the added leverage of the slightly backward extending free leg. I like to call it wagging the tail. So wagging the tail feels quite natural, and I'm not wagging my tail actually, I'm wagging my foot. But if I'm in that stable position, this knee's bent, this knee's in nice and close for balance, and this foot is hovering behind the supporting foot. If I want to turn in one direction, I just, boom, turn this knee in the direction I want to go. I wag that foot out here, and I get exactly what I want to get. So in the beginning, you're going to find, if you've never done this before, that you're wagging your tail a little too much, that this is going out, and then the hip is engaging, and then turning you. That's fine. I would say go a little small at first. Try to go for the subtle turns and keep this hip nice and tight laterally as far as what happens here. You can have a little back and forward movement here, a little rotation, but we really want to turn the entire hips to wag the tail. Yeah, okay. That was pretty good. I guess I could also mention that when I'm having really good one-footed carves, I'm not in my deepest position, but I'm always quite bent in the knee, always soft. Stiff always leads to trouble. And too deep maybe is a little more work mechanically for all that leverage behind you. I suggest beginners practice small carves at first and practice both directions with both feet. When you master wagging your tail, it will open up many other techniques and give you understanding that will lead to stride improvements. City skating is quite a one-footed activity. Even coasting on two skates is overrated. Having the ability to accurately carve away from an obstacle mid-stride is also a huge safety tool, and being able to coast and carve at the same time will give you a smooth, practical efficiency. But the feeling of one-footed carves, that's what draws me in. It's the closest I can feel to flying on skates. I mean, without a ramp or a jetpack. I want a jetpack. Well, fellow skaters, it's been a pleasure. Good luck owning this.
Stay low.